Hi, it's Nana again. Sorry about the froggy throat. I have a little bit of a laryngitis thing going on right now, but still won't keep me from talking because that's what I really like to do. Today I want to brag on my two wonderful grandchildren, Noah and Joey. On May the 6th, we went fishing, which we have done several times. It's been our new hobby, pastime, so to speak. But on this particular day, May the 6th, we went down the beach a little bit farther than we usually do go, and I wasn't feeling very well. And we fished for a little while, and I really started feeling bad. So I went to the car and ate a banana. Thought maybe it was a low blood sugar or something like that, and thought I just needed to take a little break. But after I ate the banana, I still didn't feel any better. In fact, I was starting to feel even worse, which scared me. We were pretty far out on the beach, and any services would be quite a drive. So I didn't want to alarm the children, so I told them to just pack up our stuff, that we were going to go find another spot to fish, as we weren't having very much luck anyway. So they got all the stuff in the car, and I started driving down the beach. I was going a whopping 10 miles an hour. And I told Noah, the 10-year-old, to call Mom and see if she had left for work yet. Because if she was home, then I was going to head for her house and see if I could just feel better. So he sent her a text, and she didn't respond, and so he called her, and she didn't answer, so that definitely meant she wasn't home, and we were going to have to go to plan B, which was for me to pull the car over and admit that there really was a problem going on and I needed help. So I told my 10-year-old grandson to call 911 for me. And he did that, and I was so proud of him because he was able to give the location of where we were very good directions he gave to the 911 dispatcher. And he was also able to just give them the make, model, and year and color of the vehicle that we were in. And the dispatcher was asking him questions like, is she still breathing? What do you see? And he was just doing a wonderful job of describing exactly what was going on at the time. And after about 10 minutes, the police came, and somehow I had managed to get out of the car. I think I was going to just try to lay down and see if that made me feel any better. But I landed across the front seat, face down, with my head practically in Noah's lap in the passenger side. And that's the position that I was in when when the police got there. And so they pretty quickly took over the scene. In the meantime, my other grandson, Joe, who is 9 years old, actually got out in the road and stopped traffic to get help. So, and people did stop to help him. And so there were several 911 calls made on my behalf that day. The police were doing things like trying to cool me off. I was sweating profusely. I was barely with it. Noah was able to get my identification out of my wallet and provided that for them, so they knew, who I was and what my age was. And the paramedics were on their way, but like I said, we were pretty far out from any kind of services. But once the paramedics got there, they took over and managed to get me out of the car, out of the awkward position that I had landed in, and got me on a stretcher and put me into the ambulance. And got me all hooked up with the IVs and on the monitors and everything. And at this point, I really was concerned for the kids because, they were in the van with the police still with them, with our dog, Bella, who's a 90-pound lab. And so I was concerned about what was going to happen to them. Well, the police had already called my daughter at work And she was a good 45 minutes away, but she was on her way. And I didn't know that at the time, that my daughter was actually on her way. Well, the next thing I knew, after the paramedics drew blood and, got all of my vital signs and everything, the one paramedic said to me, "I'm going to have to cut your bra off because we need to shock you." Well, I was processing that in my mind. Being a nurse, I knew exactly what she was talking about with the defibrillator, but I was also thinking, how bad is this situation that she's going to actually use a defibrillator on me? And so she proceeded to put the pads on me, and I could hear the defibrillator machine counting down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, clear, clear. And then it shocked me, and let me tell you, oh my God, there is no greater pain in the world than when 100 joules of electricity goes through your chest. It feels what I would think would be a freight train going through my chest. And I screamed out loud because it really hurt that bad. Later, I joked with Noah that it was shocking how much that shock hurt, and it was. But the paramedics kept assuring me that the children were safe, that they were with the police, and that my daughter was on the way. And there was some debate as to which hospital they were going to take me to, because, of course, the one that was closest to us did not have cardiac services, and that was what I needed. So they were debating as to go to Gulfport or Slidell. And my grandson informed them that I worked at the hospital in Gulfport, so they better take me there. And so they did. I cried all the way to the hospital because so many thoughts go through my mind. I was worried about the kids being left there with the police on the beach. I was worried how my daughter would get there and get to them, and how she was going to react to all of this. And, was I going to be okay? How serious was this event? Well, they got me to the hospital and gave me some medicine and got me all stabilized. And, they had to keep me overnight, but it seemed like the shock did the trick because my heart did go back into a normal sinus rhythm, which just means it was beating normally. But the whole experience really affected me, made me realize that things happen very quickly, and I had 2 little heroes with me and 1 little angel on my shoulder, who would be my granddaughter, Madison, who's not with us anymore. But I just want to encourage people to really make the most of every day that you have, especially if you have children or grandchildren. Just make the most of it. They're so precious, and time is so precious and goes by so quickly that you just need to remember that and keep that in the front of your brain all the time, is to make the best of any time that you have with your children or your grandchildren and your family, and let them know that you love them so much, because I'm sure you do, as I do. I think my grandchildren are the best in the world, and they hung the moon, so can't top that now, can you? I'm going to talk a little bit more later on a totally different subject, but that's my thought for today, is my grandsons are heroes, and I'm fine now. Thanks. Bye.